Asean Summit, the Quad meets in Manila ahead of Modi's arrival. What is ASEAN? What is the role of ASEAN in achieving regional integration? What are the sticking issues that needs to be addressed with respect to ASEAN? Why do you think the geostrategic term Indo-Pacific instead of Asia-Pacific has been gaining currency? GS Paper 2, Bilateral, Regional and Global Groupings and Agreements Involving India and/or Affecting India's Interests. What is the context about? Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in the Philippines capital for meetings with the leaders of Southeast Asian nations and others in the region. This is Modi's first visit to the Philippines, one of the 10 members of the Dynamic Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, grouping that is celebrating 50 years of its existence this year. Coincidentally, India is also marking 25 years of ties with the ASEAN this year and hopes to host all ASEAN leaders at a commemorative summit in New Delhi in January 2018. What is ASEAN? The Association of Southeast Asian Nations was established in August 1967 with the signing of the ASEAN Declaration by Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. The original agreement was negotiated by foreign ministers in an isolated beach resort south of Bangkok using what was later called sports shirt diplomacy. ASEAN, which has recently completed 50 years of its existence, has had a history that is replete with both successes, as well as failures, in the political, social and economic fronts. What is the role of ASEAN in achieving regional integration? The steady improvement in intra-regional cooperation on issues such as industrial development, trade and commerce, science and technology, and even security is worth appreciation. Politically, the member governments of the bloc have acted in unison in international forums, and have not had divergent stance in critical matters, of both global and regional significance. The arrangements such as ASEAN Regional Forum Meet, or the current progress achieved in the RCEP negotiations, is an appreciable aspect of the relationship between the member nations. The acceptance of the principle of free movement of goods, services, capital, and skilled personnel has further boosted regional integration. What are the sticking issues that needs to be addressed with respect to ASEAN? The high tariff rates for intra-regional trade. The enhancement of the ability to contain Chinese influence in the region, with respect to its divide and rule policy in the region. Limited investment may be shifted to larger integrated market and investment diversion may occur. The influence held by the military in Myanmar. Concerns of terrorism, which has affected countries like Philippines, and the inability to curtail the hold of drug trafficking networks in the Golden Triangle region. ASEAN brings together countries with different economic, political and social systems. Full agreement on any single issue is very difficult. Why do you think the geostrategic term Indo-Pacific instead of Asia-Pacific has been gaining currency? Officials of India, US, Japan and Australia met in Manila for exploratory talks on a possible security architecture for the Indo-Pacific region. It was against the backdrop of an aggressively rising China. US administration officials have increasingly used to refer to it as Indo-Pacific, that is a large swathe of sea and land stretching from the US Pacific coast to Australia and beyond to India. More recently, US President Donald Trump referred to the term several times when he spoke to a group of business representatives from the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC,